Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a tarot reading that had been requested a lot here on my channel, and it's about the nature of the relationship between I believe it's Hyunjin from Stray Kids and Yeji from Itzy. So even though I'm not, that I do not read for shipping readings, I know that they had shared a few projects together. I mean, I think that they had worked together as MCs, so they do have a bit of a moment, and also to see the nature of the relationship. Sometimes I don't see this relationship, this reading as actually a shipping. I see more. I I take it more as to see the nature of this relationship, if there is, and if there is none, I will explain it, and I will say what the cards are telling me. And I also wanted to make an announcement that I will be doing. I will start in my own Patreon soon, because a lot of people had been asking me for personal readings, and since I had an issue with PayPal, I'm not I cannot accept payments, so I'm really sorry for people that are waiting for me to resolve this issue. Here in my country, it's really complex to get the payment, and there's a lot of law and a lot of difficulties in the way. So I'm going to open my Patreon, so you can there submit, ask your own for your personal reading, tarot reading, or for probably a subject or an idol or a group that you probably think that probably in my channel I wasn't able yet to read about that specific idol or that specific situation that you want to know, and you want to purchase a reading for me. So I will have disponibility to do that. So let's start. If I have to talk about these two energies, I don't know about you, probably I'm not the only one, guys, that sees the resemblance actually in the both of them. Physically, I see them like they are really similar, especially in the shape of their eyes. It's like they are each other's female and male version. I don't know why. And I attribute this probably because Hyunjin is a Pisces and Jeji is a moon in Pisces. So sometimes when both people that are involved have a similarity in their placements, especially in the sign that it is in, it affects and influences also the way they look. So probably if they do, I don't think they behave the same way. I think they looked pretty similar, like as if they were siblings or something. So let's move on to the tarot cards that I got. I placed Hyunjin on the left and Jeji on the right. So for Hyunjin, I got the Queen of Wands, the High Priestess, and the Star. So these cards are really powerful in the sense that one of them is a minor arcana and two of them are majors. So it means that the message is pretty deep, in the sense that Hyunjin is going through a lot of transformation. He's doing a lot of inner work in himself. He had been reflecting on himself a lot. I think that in the past, I wouldn't say he was acting reckless, but he was very probably someone that would react quickly to how he felt or how he experienced things. That since I see this Queen of Wands as the first card, I have the feeling that he's a very passionate person, that he is very honest, and that he is very spontaneous. And I think that somehow all of this that had been going on with him had taught him that he needs to connect more with being more patient with himself, and probably would just connect with his intuition that it's always been there, but somehow he wasn't paying attention to this. I think I remember that he has a Mars in Aries, so even though he he has like a calm nature, because actually there's a bit of stability and also a bit of mutuality in him. All the same time, he can have these moments where he can act like too impulsive, like in an impulsive way. I'm sorry, my English is broken today. um, so I think that he had been acting like very like in a rush, like acting like with a lot of passion. So I think that now that he's seeing everything that is going on with him, he is trying to repress his emotions and how he feels. And he's focusing more on being a better version of himself, and also to be more in contact with learning to control his passions. I think that he had always been really blunt and honest about the way he goes after what he wants, because I think that if you're interested in this aspect of his Mars in Aries, you can go and check out the astrological series, the Mars in Science, that I did for Stray Kids members, and then you can get to know a bit more about this energy and what I'm talking about. Because here with the Queen of Wands, it means that he had always been like that kind of person that he just doesn't contemplate much about his actions. He is very outgoing. He feels really secure in his skin, and probably now he's feeling a bit guilty about this. And if I have to think about what he thinks about Yeji, or is that actually they have a good connection. I don't think they talk much. I think that even though they could have shared moments together, I see him like actually not talking to her, like being really like reserved, like shy. There's something about him that but it's because of this. Like I see a lot of restriction here. I see him like being this really like outgoing and very friendly person, and being very like open about how he feels, and he's not afraid to talk to new people. But somehow he was like, oh, I think I'm coming too strong, or I'm like being too, maybe too sociable, or maybe I'm being too like I don't know, too talkative or something about that. It's like whenever he was around her, he was trying to act like he wasn't this very like outgoing person. He was actually trying to hold himself back, and acting in a very like patient, trying to be patient. But it's like if you see the Queen of Wands, it's a lady that is sitting on a throne with fire around her, and she's like, she has this panther next to her. So it's like the Queen of Wands is like when you are in your power, but somehow when you feel all this passion inside of you, but you have to hold it in. So I think that probably he wanted to like to be more to start like conversations, or to be more active when it comes to approaching Jeji, or probably like being more playful or being more energetic. But there was something about this that he was like, no, I shouldn't. And probably it's the pressure of everyone watching, or that everyone starts making, you know, the shipping and all this stuff. So probably this was something about his intuition that was like, oh, you shouldn't be like this. Like, I know that you are excited to meet new people, and that Probably also the environment where he was really excited about being able to participate. So if he did some kind of activity that involved Yeji, he was really excited to be there also. So, but I see him like restricting himself and also trying to connect with his intuition, trying to not to react so much, trying to stay calm, trying to stay focused, trying to stay. But I think that he was also feeling really sensitive in the sense that probably there's something about her energy that, well, she is a moon in Pisces, so there's something about her energy that is really familiar to him. So probably if he didn't say anything to her or acted like in a very like exciting behavior, and he was trying to refrain himself from being too chaotic or being too energetic. It's like he wanted her to know that actually he was being polite, and that it's not that he wasn't enjoying to work with her, it's just that he didn't want to mess up, and he didn't want to do things that could affect them both. So I see him actually trying to connect with her through a very like telepathic kind of way, like trying to, I don't know, I feel like if they had moments, I think that those moments were through telepathy, in the sense that maybe it was his nature of being a Pisces trying to connect with her moon in Pisces. You know, not so much the words and the actions, but more like a connection through feeling and through intuition. And also he has a strong intuition about her. There's something that he finds her like really like a mysterious person, like that she is really mysterious. Like there's something about her that even though she is really nice and she is also very energetic and she's really good with words because she's a Gemini, there's a side to her. There's like this very bohemian kind of side to her that I think that he was able to catch on that energy, and he was really like, he empathized. He was able to be empathic with that part of her, with that part of, you know, when you are very energetic in your nature, but that's not the only side of yourself. You are also very intuitive inside. So I think that she is the mystery for him. And obviously he finds her attractive. He finds her like she is someone that she is in her power, like she knows that she's really professional, and that she is also, I think she's the leader, because it's like he sees her like this person that is always like in charge or in control. So he definitely has like some kind of admiration. But there's something about there's something he picked from her energy of her being really sensitive, despite of showing herself like being this very like energetic and very proactive person, and this very like, besides having leadership kind of vibes, like there's other side to her that actually she is a bit more reserved, and that she is a bit more insecure. There's something about her vibe, or there's something that he was able to catch energetically from her, because he is also very intuitive. It's just that sometimes he doesn't want to get in tune with his own sensitive side, because he thinks that is very distracting, and that he shouldn't be like that. It's like there's something about his own intuitions that he really is afraid of. He's afraid of finding out the truth of things, or actually getting carried away by his own intuitions. This is because his moon is in Virgo, so his moon in Virgo is always like trying to take him away from connecting with the spirituality. You know, his moon is always like, no, come on, let's go back to reality, let's work, let's do what we have to do, we have to perfectionate ourselves, we have to be better, you know. And it's like he's always harsh on himself, he's always like thinking about everything that he did wrong. So I think that he needs to pay more attention to that sensitive side, because I think that what he picked on, what he was able to I cannot say this word. What he was able to perceive from Yeji's energy is actually a reflection of his own. It's like he was like projecting himself on her. No, because it's like her moon is reminding him of that very soft and sensitive side of himself that he's not connecting with that as well. So if he sees her like struggling to connect with her inner emotions, he is also struggling too. So there's a coincidence there. So let's see about Jeji's side. She got the King of Swords, the Temperance, and the Ten of Swords. So yes, a lot of thinking. Obviously, I can see her and her massive air energy. She has a lot of Gemini also. She is a moon in Pisces, but she has a lot of Gemini placement. So she is a true Gemini. Which makes sense why she is always trying to be busy, and she's always trying to innovate, and she's always trying to do things differently and always wanting to be better. And I think that she overthinks so much. She is like always thinking and thinking, and she is not connecting with her emotions. So I think that what Hyunjin was able to pick up from her is actually reality. I think that definitely she's like a prisoner of her own thoughts. She is very harsh on herself. It's like she always wants to do better. She always wants to improve, and sometimes she can be a bit too bossy, in the sense that since she is so hard on herself, sometimes she is, especially the way she says things, she can be a bit sharp when she says things. So probably there's something about her that actually she can be smiling, she can seem very sociable, but actually sometimes she is a bit harsh with words, and she needs to take care of that. She needs to learn how to communicate better, because I think that sometimes her words can be like I said, can be like a trap to herself. It can do a lot of damage to others and to herself. I think that she is trying to find a balance, but when it comes to herself and how she behaves, I think that she, with the Ten of Swords here, I feel like she feels a lot of weight on her shoulders. She definitely feels a bit paranoid about her performance, or about how she does things. She's always looking back on how she did. She's always like monitoring herself. She's always monitoring others. So she's like always trying to, instead of finding a balance, she's always trying to not lose control. She always wants to be on top of things, you know, like to be the first one to know, to be the first one to see, the first one to react, the first one to find out things, to learn new things. You know, she always wants to be like this role model kind of, but at the same time, since she feels such a weight on her shoulders, she's always hurting. She's always feeling like wounded, like there's a lot of hurt inside of her. I think that she's too harsh on herself. She is very critical of herself. And I think that she needs to heal that. She needs to heal that. She needs to go back to her moon in Pisces, and she needs to calm herself. She needs to heal herself from inside out, because I think that She has a lot of responsibilities, and there's something about words being said. I think that probably she does have like a feedback from the CEOs or from the managers or from higher ups, from people with influence, that somehow are always like demanding things from her, or are always like putting a lot of responsibilities on her, especially when it comes to the other members. You know, they ask her to be like this kind of babysitter of the other members, so she always have to be the one carrying information for others. You know, for example, they ask her about the other members' performances. They ask her what they are doing, how they are doing. So she is like this walking like notebook, you know, like, but not. She's like she's like the one who keeps the information, the knowledge, and she is the one that distributes it. And at the same time, this is what I think, that sometimes that responsibility is too much on her, because sometimes she does have to give information or feedback to the higher ups from the members, that probably then they end up like scolding the members because of what she said, so she feels guilty. So there's a lot of guilt in her, in the position she's in. I think that it has to do with the fact that instead of them teaching her to be a better leader and to be empathic and to build a good connection of trust with the members, they actually ask her to be like this kind of a snitch, you know, this kind of, oh yes, go and find out everything you can about the others, and come here and tell me what they're doing, you know. So I think that she definitely feels pressured, she feels guilty, she doesn't like to do that. But it's how they use her, you know. They are like, oh, but yes, but you are the leader, you should know, you should anticipate what the other members are doing. And she feels a bit guilty about it. And there's something about her that she's like, because if I have to think about how she feels about Hyunjin, I know that this, what I said, doesn't have anything to do with him, but I think that this is the barrier that she puts on herself. I think that she is not into romance right now. She doesn't look at Hyunjin nor anyone with loving or romantic eyes, because I don't think she is in the mood for love. I think that she needs a lot of healing to do to herself. She feels tired, she feels exhausted mentally, she feels regretful for a lot of things. So I think that being in a relationship, or actually fantasizing or daydreaming about finding someone, and even looking at someone and thinking like, oh, he is attractive, I think that this moment, or at least the moment she interacted with him, she wasn't in that mood. She wasn't available. She was juggling a lot of things about herself. I think that if she met him, or if she spent time with him, she was absorbed in her own thoughts, in her own agenda, in her own activities, and she wasn't even paying attention. She wasn't even present. I mean, she can be there physically, of course, but she was so afraid to make a mistake, or she was so, like, for example, if she had some kind of, if she had to study some kind of a script, she was like too studious, she was too concentrated on not messing up with the script, or just trying to perfectionate. I don't think she was also in tune with her intuition. I think that she is very intuitive, because when you are a moon in Pisces, you are intuitive. But in this moment, I think that her moon and her emotions are totally blocked for all the amount of responsibilities that she has. There's something about her, I don't know, maybe the fans can let me know. I don't know why, but I always feel like she is someone that people criticize a lot, or maybe she is the one that takes the bullet for the rest of the members. It's like, but probably it's because she is a leader. But there's something about her, like always, like just being like this kind of rock, or this kind of shield, where she has to take the critics, or the criticism. She'd have to endure it. Especially, I think that she reads a lot of things online, and I think that this is something that she shouldn't do. But well, it's her energy. She is a Gemini, so she needs to be connected. She needs to communicate, and she needs to absorb knowledge. So you cannot tell her to get off the internet, or actually to just stop communicating, because she is a networker. But when it comes to Hyunjin, I don't think she actually saw him with interest. I don't see her interest, actually. I think that there's also something about her, like, because I think that she knows about his hiatus, and probably she knows about this moment that he had been absent. So she is like, she's really fearful for this to happen to herself. I don't know if there been any kind of accusations toward her, because I think that she is afraid of going through the same. But I don't think that it's because of a bullying scandal. I think that it's because of people spreading like rumors about her. It doesn't have to be about bullying. It can be about anything. And actually, she feels really paranoid because of this. She doesn't want to, because she knows that a lot of people are look up to her, and a lot of people are like, oh yes, you are the responsible one, or yes, you always do your best, or you are an example for us. So they put her in this pedestal where she feels really like pressured to always be the best, or to always be the responsible one. So this is why I think that right now, or at least in the moment where she interacted with him, she wasn't really paying attention to him. She just was worried about her own part, about what he had to do. So I think she is a bit close off to actually to love. I don't see her actually as being really emotional, because let's go with the tarot cards that came out for the bond, or the relationship, or the interaction between them. We got the Knight of Wands, the Five of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, and the Six of Pentacles. So obviously, yes, there was like an approach between them. Like they were close in action, because they had to work together, or they had to interact. So obviously there was they were like, they shared a physical space between them. But I think that they were both in a moment where they weren't feeling, they are actually not very good. They are very good with doing what they are told. Actually, for example, if you let them know, like, oh, you have to do this kind of schedule, you have to. They are very professional, and they are very eager to try new things. But at the same time, they have very low self-esteem. So maybe if they did spend time together working or talking, it was awkward. It was awkward because both of them are vibing from this place of not feeling good enough, of feeling really insecure. Especially when we think about interactions between the opposite sex, they are really awkward. I know that probably people that are fans of them, you probably see them, in front of a camera, and you see them perform, and you see them like with the members, and you have this preconception of who they are. But actually, if we think about them like interacting with each other, and them working, or them like talking, they are actually very awkward. Like, and when it comes to their personalities, I think that there's a lot of mental process going on, about like, oh, Like if I stare at these people, if I look at these people in the eye, I don't want to stare too much. Or if she talks to me, oh, I have to look away. Or if she, so it's like they could be friends or they could be close, because I see them like being that they would get along because both of them are really energetic. But I see them like inside they have so much fear and they have so much anxiety about messing up that they cannot be themselves. So probably if they meet, I don't know, after all this process of not feeling enough, if they conquer all these fears and if they work on themselves and if they become better, probably they can like reunite and actually interact in a very more spontaneous way. But I think that in the moment that they shared, the moments they shared were full with insecurities and were full with anxiety, and it was really awkward. I don't see romance, I don't see here at all. And I think that also with the six of Pentacles, actually both of them were thinking about, yes, doing these kinds of activities or interactions in order to gain more popularity or more gigs for or money for their own groups. So I think that in the moment they were thinking also about business, about money, about what they could gain each of them from this situation. So I don't see it like it was like a moment of friendship or of of being like oh, this was really romantic or this was fun. Even I don't see it even like fun, because I see them like being really careful, almost like too, like too self-conscious, when you are like too, like you are looking around like, oh, like trying to do everything right. But I don't know, they I don't know if there's people that talk to them about how to behave in front of a camera. But I think that if they do have these kinds of pet talks, or if they do have people telling them, they obviously don't feel really comfortable. It adds more pressure to them actually delivering a good performance or a good stage. And the card that came out from the romance oracles that I got for them is the card of set yourself free. So I think that obviously this has to do about them being awkward and about them being, each of them being in their own worlds and actually not being able to see each other or not being able to recognize each other's presence, because it's not that they couldn't see each other, they saw each other. It's just that they didn't connect because each of them are very into their own worlds, into their own minds, into their own insecurities and pressure. So I think that they definitely need to set themselves free from those, especially Yeji. Yeji, I see her like very pressured, very pressured. When I got this card, I think that it was a message more for her than for him. I think that he's already healing, he's already learning. I think that he is going through a process of a lot of healing and a lot of he is calming himself a lot. But in the case of Yeji, I see her like really tired, like really exhausted. So, and I think that she needs to set herself free. But I think that there's someone that probably it's like a boss that place a lot of expectations on her and about how she should handle things, I think that this person puts a lot of pressure on her and also puts a lot of responsibilities that actually are not hers, are not for her, the responsibilities, but he sees her so willing to make things work that he puts extra responsibilities on her, because it's like this person knows that she is willing to take the responsibilities, and to take the pressure, because I think that she is very like diligent in that way, that she's very like, yes, what can I do? Yes, I will try my best. So she's like always taking and taking. So I think that she definitely needs to set herself free, because she will end up like being a bit resentful when it comes to her role, because she's not enjoying herself. She's pressuring herself all the time, and she is like also too dependent to what the bosses or what the CEO or what the higher ups are going to think about her. So I think that uh, it's about manipulation also. I think that these men, especially these men with power, had somehow like lift her up on a pedestal, you know, like being like, oh yes, we choose you as a leader because you have so many qualities, you know. And it's like they just gave her so much compliments that she definitely feels special. But they did this in order to trick her and in order to manipulate her to do extra work, and to also to be, like I said, to be this kind of messenger, you know, to be really like going to them and being like, oh yes, this member did this and the other did this, you know. And I think that this is not healthy, because it's like pushing her away from the other members, you know, because at the end of the day, she's not only the leader, she's also part of the group. So it's like she should focus more, not not much about doing what the higher ups want her to do, more about building like a more stable relationship with the members than the others. So this is all I have for this duo that you wanted me to read on. So I hope that it was good for you. And if you want to give me some kind of feedback, please be respectful to each other in the comment section. And you know that I always read you, and thank you for your recommendation. If you have new recommendations, you know that I try to make them as time progresses. So thank you so much, guys, for being here. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Bye.